Awesome, everybody. Welcome to another episode. This is, of course, Jubilees, number 5. So, welcome. And those who are new joining us, I'll briefly explain what that is, and then we'll get into saying hellos to everyone that's here joined us today. So yeah, Jubilees are basically every 7 episodes we do a Jubilees episode, and that's for us to just kind of relax. It's not a pointed topic. There's not much research. It's more like just sharing things that we've kind of seen throughout the month or whatever since the 7 ones that we haven't shared yet. So yeah, it's going to be all around there, but it's definitely going to be some interesting stuff because we live in interesting times. So thank y'all all so much for joining us. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. That all helps the community grow. And if you haven't joined us on Discord, check that out. The link is in description. Great place to fellowship with people via voice chat or even text. So yeah, go join there as well. Anyways, let's go ahead and say hi to everyone. We got our dear brother Daryl Lee here. How you doing, sir? Sweet. Sounds like you maybe cut out there, but we appreciate that. Yeah, and I'll give everyone a little bit of a update on Anthony here in a minute. But oh, you're back, Daryl Lee? Maybe not. All right, and we got Lioness of Y'all joining us. For those that don't know, that is actually REL's Truth Seeker. She's joined us a few times here, and we're gonna definitely need you to get you on like as a dedicated episode for you and all the stuff you're doing as a special episode. But I want for everyone to go and check her out. I'm gonna pull that up in just a second, so bear with me while I do. And yeah, go give her a share. She does some pretty cool stuff. She does a book series, REL Reads Rainbows. That's like going through different literature and talking about it. And then she also has her Sisterhood of the Warrior Queens. That's like a girl talk where they talk about various things within the truth community. So check that out. It's really great as well. And yeah, she does some various stuff as well. She is part of the Kakalaki crew. So she's a dear sister of that flat fellow we've had on multiple times and everything. Anyways, long-winded, welcome again to the show, Ariel, and how you doing, sister? Yeah, I think it was it last Jubilee? No, it was procession number 2 that you were here. The first time, the second time, the first time was the Rob Skiba tribute. Um, so And that's awesome. To even go back and look into the like in the content creators of the Discord, there's the Remembering Rob Skiba. Like if you scroll up, there's like so many great testimonies that people just wrote, that they didn't want to come on and talk about. So those are definitely awesome. Uh, so I just want to say sorry, everyone. To those that don't know, I literally have been the only one that they could hear this entire time. I am so sorry. That was literally a misclick of mine that I did not bring back their audio so that y'all didn't hear us talking while the show was getting set up. So I apologize that I'm not gonna. If y'all want to, you can say your highs again. Since they didn't
Hi.
get to hear you, but but yeah, I
Hi.
apologize that. So yeah, we got Daryl Lee with us. We got Ariel, and then last but not least, we got Marcia. How you doing this evening, sister?
And doing well. We can just move on and not start over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I'm gonna go real quick, kind of give an update on Anthony and what's going on with him. So he's been calling me every day, and we've been trying to see what we can get done. Like we got his chickens and his cat taken care of. We know that his vehicle is no longer there. They wouldn't give me the actual people themselves. They wouldn't give me any of the gas station that he was arrested in. They wouldn't share with me the footage, which is unfortunate. But anyways, and then here recently we called and tried to find his possessions because his rifle and his pistol were logged into the Amite Sheriff County. They said that they took it because they didn't want to leave the weapons in the vehicle, which is understandable. But he had like $1,200 cash. He had his house keys, his car keys, a couple knives, his phone, his wallet, all of those things. At this point, Amite County, the one that he was arrested in, is saying that they don't have those things. They just have the rifle and the pistol. And then Adams County is saying they don't have, like, Adams County didn't give them anything. So there's some missing possessions. Today would mark the 8th day that he has been in jail without any type of arraignment, any type of hearing, any type of communication, letting him know what's going on, when he's going to be seen, anything like that. So it's a pretty weird situation, to be honest, but you know, I, I don't know really what much we can really do about it, unfortunately, other than what the thing I'm working on now is getting a hold of a lawyer and seeing if we can't just oh my gosh, seeing if we can't get someone, because like at this point to me it seems like a civil rights thing, because how, like, we have a right to a speedy and fair trial, like he has neither of those apparently. I don't know. So it's really frustrating, but we're chugging along, and the father's behind this, and he's in good spirits. And thanks to Paul on the plane for donating, Metro for donating. It really appreciates, and all those other ones that that didn't ask information from me to donate. We really appreciate it. It makes his life a little easier on the inside, dealing with the food and the environment in itself. So we definitely appreciate that. And it definitely goes a long way. And his spirits are high. He was able to buy some extra clothes with that, so he's not cold anymore. And he has some that extra money, not only to make calls and get what we can sorted out, but also fill his belly from what they don't provide. So super appreciative all to y'all that did that, and those that said because they only allow him to receive $300 a month. There were other people that wanted to donate and help him that couldn't. So next month, he'll have that $300 limit again. So If you want to help him out and give him some money for food and phone calls, stuff like that, there's information in the Discord, and you can reach out to me to do that. So, anyways, other than that, I do have some stuff to share, but I know others do as well. So to those, does anyone have any questions about Anthony, I guess, before we move on from that? No? Okay. So yeah, just prayers for him, guys, and hopefully we will get this, we'll get some help his way. So anyways, all right, so Jubilees. This is a place where we just kind of share some stuff going on. I typically like to share stuff from NASA just because it's literally so preposterous, the stuff that they share, and people, like, they're doing these type of posts every single day. That means they're getting clicks. That means they're getting ad revenue for these things, right? And I know there is an argument to say, that, really, it's, they make so much money, like, they don't care if they lose money. They're just trying to, prop it. So I totally get that. But, like, I just literally searched NASA, and we have plethora of things. So if you click on any one of these topics, like the Apollo 7, there's all this thing. Oh, NASA finally opened 50-year-old Apollo moon rock sample as agency eyes human return, I'm guessing, to the moon. You mean they've been trying to go to the moon every 4 years, and they keep pushing it off, but they haven't been sampling stuff to understand what they're actually going back to. Like, they've had all this stuff for 50 years, and they're not looking into it. So I don't know. It seems really convenient for them, all these things. And then I don't know if y'all saw this. So this is apparently SpaceX is having a private AX-1 astronaut flight cleared for launch pending NASA's one moon rocket test. But anyways, this is a thing where they're going to send these 4 private people, quote unquote, to the International Space Station.
Oh.
Wait, what?
So these, I guess y'all can't. I'm not even showing it to people either. So let me get out of this. Let me pull this up. Okay, so y'all, the YouTube should be able to see it now, and then for those that want to see it that are here, I will share that. So now you should be able to join my live stream in Discord to see what I'm showing everyone. But
I don't see it on YouTube.
Yeah, it will take a second because there's a delay in upstream.
There it is.
Yeah. So anyways, these 4 private people basically paid to take this thing. But another interesting thing is, if look at this picture right here. This is them. The AX-1 crew performs microgravity training ahead of their launch. You mean they're getting all of the footage they need to show them on the International Space Station before they, you know what I mean?
It's so hard for me to believe that that's because I'm awake, and I'm trying to think back in my mind, would I still believe this? Would I? I think I might. But after seeing so much Richard Nixon calling on his landline to the moon. Come on.
Really. And that picture that you showed, like, it looks exactly like the zero gravity plane. Like, there's nothing. They don't try.
Yeah.
When you're awake, you can see how lazy they are. Everything looks the same.
Yep. And they do all that, like, everything's kind of squared off so that they can put up their green screens, and they can put up their, yeah, 100% the stuff is the fact that they would be training what it feels like to do a zero gravity dive, and then connect that to the vacuum of space, that makes zero sense. It literally makes zero sense. But like people see that image, and I'll go back to it. People see that image of them floating, and in their mind, they're like, oh, this is talking about them going to the International Space Station, but they're already seeing imagery of them floating through a capsule-like thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it tells you it's their training, but it doesn't say, performs microgravity training on a zero gravity plane. It doesn't give any information, but yeah, it's literally insane. And then let's look at some more cartoons real quick.
Cartoon?
So this is a post in the Scientific American. It says 5,000 exoplanets. NASA confirms a cosmic milestone. 3 decades after it began, the exoplanet revolution shows no sign of slowing down. NASA has confirmed the discovery of 5,000 exoplanets, some are which are are visualized in this illustration. Astronomers are geared up to find thousands more in the coming years. So this is literally about their whole thing for finding these planets that might be habitable, right? But this is what's insane is any of the distances traveled here are literally impossible. Now, Jaren from Jarenism shows this quite a bit. So bear with me. I'm gonna show you something real quick. And I totally butchered that word, but it's okay. So how many years do you think is in a billion seconds?
Oh gosh, how many years is in a billion seconds?
Yep.
Oh, let me think. I got that right in my head. Let's see. No, go ahead.
Just take a wild guess.
I'm gonna say 100 years.
It's 31 years.
Okay.
Okay. How many years in a billion? How many do you think a trillion then would be?
Okay, so if a billion was 31, a trillion could be like 40, 50.
No, let's see. A trillion is a million billion or a billion million.
So 31 years for a million, 31,709 years for a trillion seconds.
Yeah.
So if you were able to travel at 1 mile a second, it would take you 31,709 miles to travel 1 light year. And they say the closest star is 5 light years away.
What the heck?
So think about all the money that they're spending in finding these cartoon planets.
What the heck?
To give us something that we could literally never ever get to.
Never get to. Oh, something was first discovered the year I was born, whatever that is.
The first planetary discovery came in 1992 when astronomer Alex Wolskin and Dale Frail published a paper in the journal Natural. They spotted 2 worlds orbiting a pulsar, a rapid rotating dense star corpse, by measuring subtle changes in the timing of the pulses as the light reached the Earth.
Like, how did you know that it's a corpse? Like, how do the stars even have corpses? Like, are you kidding me?
And they know that it's rapidly rotating, and they know the density of this, that the star is a dense star corpse. No, it's okay. And they measured that by the timing the pulses as they reach the Earth. That's them assuming that they know, 1, how far the Earth, how far this is away. 2, how the big of the Earth. 3, assuming the shape of the Earth. Like, just keep stacking it up.
That is ridiculous. I can't believe it. I used to think these people knew what they were talking about.
Oh, we all did, and I personally used to soak this stuff up and was like,
Well, what's going on right now is asteroids, big asteroids. We're just missing and all this, and it's like, right? Okay.
As you said that, I literally the next thing was giant asteroid to pay Earth a visit today. It will come horrifically close to our planet.
Horrifically close.
So
we all should be scared all the time.
Exactly. And those that don't know, planet is derived from the Greek planos, which has two definitions: wandering star and deception. So, yeah.
Wandering.
But no, this
not only that, they don't even. They say, "Oh, we found one. We just saw this one." Really? I mean, they trace or track comets and asteroids, but they'll find some mysterious ones coming. I mean, it's ludicrous.
Ludicrous. It really is. Couldn't have said it better myself. Like.
Yeah. And the last time I kind of shared, I showed this same thing, and it was more about just all. I think I literally searched asteroid. Oh wow, added a character in there, and it was just like over and over of like an asteroid almost gonna hit us, coming really close to us, like all this extra stuff. And it's insane. Like, people see this image, like this is a ragu or whatever, like people see this and believe this, guys. They see that shadow and they're like, oh my god, that's a shadow. That's an actual picture of an asteroid. Look at that. People think this is real. And we used to think it's real, so we do have to have a little grace for them, because like we were sucked into this so hard, right? But it's like, how can't it's interesting, you show this and they don't see anything wrong. They don't see that's like this could literally just be it literally is just a picture of some ground at night with a, like they have a little light back there. They have that light, on this thing. They probably have a stick somewhere that they're holding it up with. They edit the stick out. Like, they're not going to ever give people these raw footages. That they will claim these are composite images, because it has to be.
Because it has to be. Exactly. Oh my gosh, every time.
Have y'all ever seen dirt do this, where a dirt, like, it's like literally what they did is they took a dirt ball and then they took a microscopic picture of it. That's what I think this is.
Yeah. And then and Photoshop the ceiling fan shadow on there.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the left picture. Like, the left picture, they took like a little, like if you look in the right picture, they took one of those little dust like balls, they put it in there and then took a microscopic picture of it, and they're like, wow, this is the picture of the asteroid as it's flying through space.
It looks like a dust mite.
Like, we can get these little things, right? These little satellites to literally go up to these big rocks and fly around them. We can totally do that, but we can't get people back to the moon 60 years later.
60 years after we made a whole phone call.
Yeah.
Or a landline. And yet I can't get cell connection in places. It's ludicrous.
Well, yeah, and that's a good point. They'll say like, well, how do I have cell phone and know, right? It's like they don't know that 90% of cell phone communication is literally through ground-based towers. There are satellite phones, right? And that satellites is a whole other topic. But most people's are based on the ground. But they literally are told that they're from satellites, but then they don't question when they're out, driving through the, any, bum. Timbuktu, nowhere, America, they don't have cell service.
And what about the cables under the sea? Isn't that another thing that contributes to cell phone service?
Sure. Communications, all that.
Communications in general, yeah. Like it's all like you said, towers, ground stuff, and then we're not going to get into it, but it's crazy. It's
fiber optic. It's and they can put up any image they want, and
yep,
it's just going to be believed because it's on TV.
It has to be.
I was one of them. I was
too. Oh man, I was so like into Doctor Who and Firefly, and I was all about one day the stars, we could be there. Oh man, just kill all my dreams. Just kill them dead.
It is crazy. It is crazy that I even believed, even for a while, I even believed after I heard, started it not making sense, I still thought it was a rock. But it wasn't the moon we went to, but I still thought it was a rock for a while. And then I found out that's not even right. It's a luminary.
Luminary, right? It is just that the sun and the moon are the same substance. They are the same size. They just produce different types of light. Two totally different types of light, and each possess their own light.
I don't believe you can even land. I think it's a luminary. Like it's a. Yeah. I don't even think it is a I'm not sure. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, whether it's a physical substance or whether it's a projection.
Right.
I like to think that it is a physical substance. I think that the idea of a projection is very interesting. I think that it is an actual ball of light that is producing energy and heat or light. I kind of think that for the moon, though, I think it might even be closer to the firmament than the sun, and that maybe it dips in and out of the firmament water, as kind of sort of. Maybe that was something that I was like thinking about, the how the light dims, maybe it's going back and forth. I don't know, it was just some things that I was throwing out there.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, the moon, like the sun's like, oh, like it seems super simple, right? But and then when you think about the moon is like its own thing because it doesn't behave like the sun. But the reason why we think that, I think, is one, because like we always have been like picturing it as a big ball of gas since we were little. But I think also like the fact that you can't see detail on it like you can the moon. The moon is very interesting because seemingly it looks like craters are there, and it looks like there's texture and dirt and stuff there. Right. But I wonder how much of that is because we've been told that, and how much of it naturally looks like that. What I think is interesting about the moon is like, depending on it's like the reason why I don't think it's a physical object, because if you're in Australia, the image may be flipped, but all the detail and everything you're seeing is the same thing. It's just an inverted image. You know what I mean? So it's like, but they're seeing the same face as you, even though they're across the plane from you. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about it like that. But what I mean is, like, if you're in Australia and you're looking at the moon, it doesn't look like it's upside down, right? It literally looks normal in the sky. As when we're here, it looks normal in the sky. But it's weird that I don't know. It obviously can't be stuck to something, but then it can't be.
Now, isn't it in a certain firmament?
That's where the electromagnetic field comes in, right? Because that's what I'm thinking of. Like, there could be stuff that is, the sun. It could keep the sun and the moon there if it wasn't an electromagnetic field. That could be something. And then to go back to what you said about the craters, if you sun gaze, I've heard that people who sun gaze actually can see past the light a little bit and do see craters sometimes. So I've started sun gazing, and I'm trying to see if I see something.
Yeah, totally. Just to take a quick step back or whatever, I show this to people. This is kind of what she was talking about. This is the undersea cables where everything goes, and how we have that interconnection. Most of the plane's connections is through the intersea cables. They'll tell you that. And they actually lay these with these huge ships. Like, look at those people in those next to those wires. They're nothing, and look how much cables not only there, but how much they've already put down. And so, yeah, this is how we communicate. Nothing, because there's magical space devices continually falling around us that give us communication. It's literally nonsense. But anyways, I just wanted to show that real quick. And then another thing that you said, so specifically about the sun and the moon, I think another thing that's really interesting in them in themselves is like a point, like okay, for instance, I feel like the moonlight, it kind of does make you cold, but it's not very noticeable, right? No, so whether it's summer or winter, it doesn't, it's not like a noticeable difference, I feel like. But like the sun, right, like during the spring or summertime, like if you wake up at dawn and as soon as the sun hits that, point where it peaks over the horizon and that sunlight is in your face, it is hot, right? And if it moves all the way to the noon position and it's right above you, it's even hotter. But yet, go 6 months from that point to the, fall or winter, and as the sun has moved away from us, right, like they think it's just still in the same, thing, we're tilting or whatever. But then all of a sudden, the even at noon on a, winter day and the sun's right above you, it's literally, you don't get like any type of blazing heat that you do before. And their excuse of just it being like, they literally is like, well, we're tilted, we're closer to the sun, that's why it's winter. It's like, wait, what? It's so nonsense.
Oh,
No sense.
Yeah, it's still odd to me, not understanding what the moon really is, and the craters, and if it's solid and if it's not. I really don't have an understanding of it at all, really. I just know it's not. They didn't go to it. But is it in a different firmament?
And even speaking of the firmaments, right? Like, we kind of imagine them just as this clear dome, right? As a representation. I have that in my logo. That's that dome, that clear dome. But like, we maybe even just imagine that it's just like one solid piece of some substance. But I wonder if it's like actually some type of mechanism in and of itself. And that's why we can't understand it. Because, and when I say mechanism, I know that verbiage makes you think I'm talking about like little gadgets and gears and stuff like that. And I'm not saying
I think it's actually I think I think Sean said it's like an emerald type thing, which it will have. You can get that energy and the from it. I mean, there's something to do with the firmament. And but isn't the moon and the stars and the sun, there's the layer of water, then there's another firmament with like the moon and the sun, or is the moon and the sun in our?
I honestly, I don't know. It could, like, there's so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when we look at our firmament, right, like, people imagine, like, even in my, in the logo or whatever, it's like the two balls are inside the dome. Well, I don't know if it means inside as in they're inside it, or they're inside it as in they're part of the mechanism. And that's what I was kind of saying is why it seems so, like, why we can't understand them is because what we're looking at, like when we look up, isn't just like a clear, necessarily a clear thing, which I'm not saying it could or couldn't be, but what my point is that it's not just like a plexiglass dome or a emerald dome. It's like it's a structure. It's an actual like device or tool or whatever you want to use to say like I'll give you an example. Like it's almost like a what is that called? Like a sports stadium, right? Like the sports stadium can move and open and like do all these things. It's not just a room.
Oh, well, yeah, they do go through portals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's this mechanisms, whatever it is, and maybe that's a bad word, but
well, I think angels are in charge of things.
totally, I totally agree with that.
And the mechanism is actually an angel moving something.
Totally, yeah.
Because I do believe in the sky clock, right? So a clock is a mechanism. Like this realm,
Right.
it works together. The luminaries, and I think, I mean, to answer your question, like the sun and the moon, that is so interesting to think that there are layers right between us that we can't see. But I think that I think it can be a part of the mechanism, because I think part of the mechanism is electromagnetic. It can be there, so it can be still part of it, even though it's inside the system, the enclosed system with us. But dang, I just completely lost my train of thought. I was gonna say, dang.
You'll remember. No
Oh, I'm
worries.
glad you do the same thing I do. I'm glad that happens to somebody else.
Yes, it does. Oh, never mind. But that I said enough anyway. You can go off.
No worries. I actually was thinking of something and then I lost it too. I was gonna Google or YouTube a video that you had mentioned, but we all lost it. We all blame each other. We'll blame Daryl since he hasn't been talking this whole
Yeah,
time.
it's all your fault.
There you
Daryl.
go. Oh man. But I like
put
that.
a video out. It was a little like a TikToker or something like that, and it showed this guy talking. I think I put it on your server on Discord, or on a few, where it had this guy with sunglasses saying, "You think this is real?" And he says, "My glasses aren't even real," and it takes it off, and then his eyebrows are different, his face is different, the background's different. He just is showing how easily it looked like a real person, a real this, a real him, and it was a totally different everything. Green screens and what they can do are so high tech now.
Have y'all ever seen V for Vendetta?
Yeah.
That's not the
remember
only one. There's also Ultraviolet. So there's quite a few like quote unquote sci-fi examples of where people think that they're watching this character, this I don't know what they're called, host or whatever. But then like at some point in the movie, it shows that like no, it was this other person that looked like this person, or it wasn't actually the leader. The leader had died. It was this other person who had killed the leader, etc. And so,
yeah.
And so with the deep fake stuff now, and then the AI, like creating people just from photos, they could, yeah, they're getting to that point. And I think like that is why there's so much money being poured into like that type of technology, AR, VR, because they're going to sell like, okay, we can't actually go to Mars until we have, like, and they may even have like a Mars mission that doesn't work, and they're like, okay, we need, that doesn't work, but we need to maybe send drones there. So now people are going to start going to Mars and start colonizing it, but they're going to be doing it through drones, and they're going to be in AR, and they're going to a good movie of that, a good example of that is the movie or the books The Giver, where they literally get in this thing and they have like it's a VR setup where they almost become that thing. Um,
Don't re-
Well, you know how the wars are going on, or the Russian, Ukraine, whatever. I also saw a little green screen thing that it showed this guy running, and when they wiped out the green screen stuff, he was running in front of perfectly good apartments, and then they put all the bombing and all the fire and all the stuff back on that same screen and showed. It's just what they do. How can you tell what is real anymore? How?
can you tell? That's a good question.
And at least we're asking those questions, right? Like at least when we see these things, we go, "Is that even real?" Like,
Is it?
Most people look at it and say, "Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, that's correct. That is true information."
Here's a question: do you think there's anything left that cannot be faked?
No, I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends on like what, like for instance, like
Not if it's on
world,
TV, I think anything could.
Well, like for instance, a world war, right? Like, how could they fake? Like for instance, let's just say there's a world war and England gets attacked, right? And that's in the news. Like, unless literally in London they tell that, say Italy gets attacked, and in Italy they say America gets attacked, and like,
how do we get to see that? But on TV.
Speaking of faking things, have y'all heard about the prank phone call made to the UK Minister of Defense?
What?
What?
Is this something I can pull up on YouTube?
Yeah. Gosh, let me see where you pull it up at. Anyhow, so they've made other prank phone calls, like they made one to Elton John, saying they're this person or that person. Well, they called up the UK, I think it was UK's Minister of Defense, and said that they were some high-ranking, I think the Prime Minister of Ukraine. And so they have this long conversation. Yeah, it's on YouTube, and they're trying to ban it because they're trying to say, well, that was a Russia thing, but it wasn't.
I literally had my son, and he got me really good. And it was this program that he called this person called my phone and said, "Why are you stealing my Wi-Fi?" And I go, "I'm not stealing your Wi-Fi." And it's just going on and on and on. And they actually have breaks in there where you could respond, and then he'd respond back. And I got off the phone. I go, "Somebody just called me and my son was just cracking up. I didn't hear about it till a week later. It was a phony. It was just a prank call they got it even. They've got prank calls to where they leave spaces where they know you're going to react, so they don't keep talking. And it's anyway.
Yeah, totally. I'm actually gonna pull that up, and I am gonna play this under fair use practices. We are gonna commentate on it and talk about it. So again, those that are in Discord, if you want to watch this, I'll show it. I'm gonna share it on the screen as well, and we will watch this. So this is Ben Wallace falls victim to prankster claiming to be Ukrainian Prime Minister.
Defense Secretary's office. Can I just check who you've got on the line, please?
Yes, sure. We are on the line. Do you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. If
yeah.
you just bear with us while the secretary joins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will switch on our camera when we will see.
Understood. No problem. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. How are you there?
Can you turn it up a bit?
I'm fine. I'm in Poland.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know.
Oh,
We would like
I
to
got mine
continue
turned
the
off.
nuclear program in order to protect ourselves from Russia. It's a difficult question, but we think to start it.
Okay. But do you think, I think more than being neutral, Russia would really hate that.
For sure, we know this, of course, but this is one of the questions that we are interested. But if you could help
Yeah.
us in this regard, it would be really, really important.
Okay, well, look, Mr. Prime Minister, on all those bigger questions, I think those are questions that I need to speak to my Prime Minister. The principle is we will support Ukraine as our friend in the choices you make.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And so you kind of brought that up, Daryl. Was there anything kind of you wanted to speak about specifically with it?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll turn the sound down. So, well, y'all just talked about like faking, and it's been my idea that they're going to get this virtual reality, you know, like our phones have been spying on us, getting every, you know, every emotion on our faces and everything like that, and recording us. And pretty soon, I think they're going to be able to actually fake us where you can't tell a real video from a fake video. You know,
So they can
the
almost like create crimes that never actually happened but have video of you doing it.
And
right,
just
exactly.
just like Lioness said, is that what's your name? Rather than Lioness of y'all?
Ariel.
Yeah.
Ariel. Okay. Ariel.
Ariel, I wanted to ask you something too. I'm a little nervous about this sun gazing thing. I'm not sure I should try it, but I was thinking maybe I'll close one eye in case I,
there's
stare
an
at
actual
it.
way to do it.
Yeah, no, you definitely, if you're doing it in the early enough time, right before the sun gets too hot, you start with a slow time, like, you got to work up to it, so you protect your eyes. But if you start with like 2-3 minutes, work up to 5 minutes, if you want to do it, blink one eye every couple of minutes,
Or
but
squint.
Squinting.
But also, get yourself, there was a process to it. I think I heard it on Crow 777. But, and also the morning. The morning sun is the best, and it's not the hardest and whatever on you.
Exactly. And it matters too, because when I get up, so like sunrise is between like 7 and 8, right? And if I make it out there at like 7:45, 8, it's harder than if I make it out between 7:15 and 7:30.
Yeah.
So
take your shoes off while you're out there too.
Yes, grounding. That's the best thing for you.
Well, like when I look at like a bright light and then I look away, I'm still seeing this bright light. I get like blind spots for a while.
Well,
so
that's
I'm
why you
a little
should
concerned
squint.
about
You should
the sun
squint
gazing
and
thing.
look at the sides, or work yourself up to it. But yeah, absolutely.
Your eyes are a muscle. Your eyes are a muscle, so that isn't a side effect, I would assume. But remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm doing this and figured it out just like you.
And think about even that process, right? Like what you said, and I totally understand that mindset. But even the doctors now, like, they are learning pharmaceutica. They aren't learning how to teach people how to correct the pH in their body to stop said symptom. They're not teaching them, hey, you need to eat more of this and take this out of your diet because it doesn't work with your system. They're not learned to teach those things. They are learned to provide pharmaceutica for symptoms. And those out there that are using pharmaceuticals, I am not attacking you. I understand we're all in this system. There are things that, can hurt people if they just stop taking. I'm not suggesting anything like that. I'm just saying there are a lot of alternatives out there that give you a healthy way of overcoming those symptoms as opposed to just masking them.
Right. I think a lot of the doctors are learning protocols now rather than learning how. Yeah.
Yeah, like one protocol that I just found out recently was like, I don't know how true this is, but like when you take like a vitamin D3 supplement, you should take it after you've eaten some fatty foods because it's fat soluble. I've never heard that.
It's a hormone, and you should
I've
take
never
it
heard
with
that.
too. But anyway,
go ahead. I've never heard that it was like fat soluble and that you might not even be assimilating the vitamin D if you don't have it with a fatty food. But that's what I was hearing the other day. So I got to look into it more. But yeah,
Well,
that's like protocols that they don't tell you about.
Oh yeah, no, they have protocols of penicillin, of antibiotics, and that's their protocol.
Well,
and they don't know any other thing.
And also, like like how we were just mentioning, they're not interested in the treating of the thing, one, because it's money, and then you also see any of the doctors who are looking into real medicine, like really trying to help people and keep people healthy, those people are all debunked, or quote unquote debunked, and shamed or whatever, and then they make those people put on labels that say the FDA doesn't agree that these claims are true, and then all of the things that are treat the symptoms but have all of these side effects, they allow them to make those side effects super small print, and they can say it really fast. You know what I mean?
They can't make the true claims on it. No. Yep. It's all got to be masked.
Yep.
No.
It's literally insane.
Conformed in scent. How is that conformed in scent if all of the side effects and everything, how it works, is in inch tall writing, on a thin piece of toilet paper that is as long as my arm from here until the sun rises? Like, that does not tell me anything. And who's going to look at that?
Yeah, no, you literally, and literally, because it's lawyer speak, you need to be a lawyer to understand it, because here's kind of a topic about cops and stuff like that, is when man, I just literally they are like if they say, for instance, oh, it looks like you're going 10 over the speed limit, blah, 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 you understand what that means? If you say, I understand, that's saying you agree, you consent, you concur with the officer accusing you of speeding. So you thought he was saying, do you conceive, do you understand what I'm saying, right?
Right.
But yet you just agreed to being guilty of a law. So like even when you read those inserts, it's in legal speak. So you see a word and you're like, oh, that word means this. Nope, it has a completely different legal definition.
Yeah.
It's
because
insane.
they use all of those words, the legalese, against us. Oh my gosh, that's all they do. And then to go back to even bring it back to it, like thinking about if anything can be faked, right? Or if anything,
Right.
they're trying to take us to this RV. It's all about making us less human. Did you guys know about the first cloned baby that was born?
Long time ago, wasn't it?
No, within the last 2 weeks.
No.
So speaking of clones, I just want to define this real quick. When you mean clone, you're saying they just took a stem cell of a person, mixed that with an embryo, inseminated it, and then a person who is 100% identical DNA wise to the original person. So it's basically like a fraternal twin. Or are you saying when it's a clone, they're taking over their
empty shell?
I'm thinking the first one you said, because she said the woman gave birth to the clone. So
yeah, so I don't know, like, and this is maybe just semantics, but and it may obviously has to do with like entertainment or whatever. But when I think of clone, I think of like when you're taking, like, a person wakes up, right, and they are said person. They think they are said person. They don't like, they're not being born and raising up, like, and growing up as a child. So I guess that doesn't really surprise me that they can take DNA and make a replica of someone.
Oh no, that's like the sheep or anything else, yeah. But to make a clone like you're talking about, Vader, is like an empty shell or something in there.
Because
put some
even in that example you like we used or whatever, that new baby born, like even though it may look and have the DNA of another person, it 100% is a new creation. It has its
and
own
it'll have
spirit.
its own thinking.
Yeah.
When I think of the clones, I think of somebody that's a absolute replica, thinks like you, talks like you. They put their consciousness in you or something.
Yeah, like they think they are that person.
Yeah.
Like they
Wow.
don't understand they're a clone. I don't know if that can exist, right? Like
Neither do I.
Look it up. Look, I feel like I watched the video. I don't know what it was called or anything, but it was a lady at a press conference within the last 2 weeks who said, you know, it's so exciting. You know, the first clone baby has been born to an undisclosed location in some country because we don't want you to know what country it was. But mommy and baby are doing well, and we wanted them to be here. But blah blah blah. And I'm just like, is this real life? Like, I feel like I'm in a movie right now.
Actually, I think it is real life, and just like when chimeras are going to be back on Earth again, you know, the making, it's the making of horsemen, you know, half horse,
Yes,
half
that's what I'm
man,
thinking.
all
Exactly.
those
Going
things.
back to the
They'll
days of
be
Noah.
doing it.
Oh, and I totally think that stuff's coming back too. I don't know. At least when I think of clone, it doesn't seem that crazy because like they have done that with like prize bulls and stuff. They'll take
That
the
sheep.
yeah, like let's say the prize bull dies, they'll like cut it up or whatever, and they'll take some of its spine fluid, and then they'll use that to make a stem cell, and then they'll use that to put that inside of a thing so that those genetic traits are passed on.
Correct.
So I see, and you could do that with plants too, right? Like you can literally just like cut a stem off of a plant with a new growth, add some rooting hormone, and stick it in, and it'll become its own plant. But it's genetically identical to the plant that it came from, but it's kind of its own plant. The new sheep, right? Like, because we're talking about animals, it's gonna have its new experiences. It doesn't remember everything that the other sheep remembers, and so even this baby, even though it's born, it's literally like to me, it's nothing more than a artificially inseminated fraternal twin.
Right, and it's gonna have its own thinking, and it's different.
But them doing that is totally getting them ready to start having designer babies.
Exactly.
Where it's like, well, you don't have to just clone yourself now. You can also, make sure what color they have, what hair color they have, etc.
Well, wasn't that CRISPR where they could edit out this gene, that gene, and
they say you can. I don't know.
That's that CRISPR technology.
I kind of almost don't know if I believe in DNA, like as it's described and what they show us a picture of. It's like like now that we are where we are, it's like literally everything that I thought I knew, I 100% am skeptic of. I have to question it. I have to say, wait, is that real? Because they were like, in for instance, like molecules and all that stuff. They use that as a way to kind of get us ready for, see, these are molecules, we're planets. It's like the same thing, but those molecules are on a way bigger, Well,
you've seen glow-in-the-dark mice, right?
Yep, and I've seen ears.
Yes, they've made glow-in-the-dark mice.
Yeah, and you can also look up on China clones dogs. And they make their toenails glow so that they know that they're a clone.
They also have made a sheep or something give milk of it's a spider. They cloned it with a spider, and it gets the silk.
Yeah, no, it's
spider. Yeah,
it's a spider goat. They mix the DNA so that the milk, inside the milk, it produces enzyme for spider silk. They take that milk, they run it through a process, and they can harvest spider silk.
And that way they can get it. And spider silk is supposed to be the strongest thing out there, and they just have goats that can produce it so much more because the spider's small and the goat's big. Oh yeah,
Wow.
they got all kinds of things. They have I think there's a cow or something that has human milk. Oh, here's one. That's human or something inside and gives out human milk. I don't know. Anyway, there's this thing. It was a kit, mind you, a kit you could buy to put your own cell in
What?
this petri dish, your own cell into this petri dish, and grow your own meat of you.
What?
Not you as a person, but they're getting us ready to be cannibals.
Oh my Lanta. Oh my Lanta. My mind is being blown here. Like every time I think, oh, we're not, this is just the beginning. No, we're at the beginning of the end. They are getting the final pieces together. They've been working on this forever, right? Like they're just now showing us oh my God.
Well, but I also think about this, right? Like, so the people that have a desire to do this to people, right? Like they have a lot of vigor to get this stuff done. And then maybe their top people also share that same vigor that work for them. But as the relationship gets further and further away from the king or the boss, the less and less that person cares about the boss and the more they care about themselves, right? So the reason why I bring that up is because we all have heard the stereotype of government workers, how they're lazy and stuff like that, because there is no incentive for them to work harder and to do more because the system isn't set up to do that, right?
That's communism.
So my also point is like these people that are in these positions, I also think like most of them are useful idiots. They're not zealots, right? So they're just doing their job. They're not thinking about the implications of what they're doing. So the reason why I think that that's kind of important is because that kind of lets us know they're kind of sloppy. That's why I think they have, like, for instance, the NASA thing. People's like, oh, they totally put that in there so that we can, and maybe, but I think the real thing is that those people creating it, right? Like, they're already kind of not happy about what they're doing anyways, and then they're not probably paid that great. And they're having to lie to the whole world. So it's like they're not going to put their whole effort into making sure they can really fool the world. You know what I mean? Where I feel like is if you're trying to tell the truth, a lot of people put in a lot of effort to tell the truth.
Right. There's also the idea to remember that, they can do things military style. So people can be working on a project and be told to do something and still not know the full scope of the project or what they're doing, right? Does that not...
Compartmentalized.
Exactly. So he's like, I've got high clearance, I hush.
And even furthermore, like they are compartmentalized, but if they weren't, would they even care? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they'd be like, oh, I make these bolts. I really want to talk to everyone that uses this bolt to see what they do too. You know what I mean?
I don't think.
They're going there. They're going there for their 8-hour Monday through Friday to make bolts or whatever it is that they're making, and they're being told it's going to the space station. They're being told it's using for rockets, but they don't know that. And even if they could like track the nut or the bolt all the way to it, would they even want to?
Well, now, some of these satellites are up in balloons, right?
100%.
People are they have to sign their life away to shut up because those are being sent up by balloons.
Yeah, they're NDAs. They make them sign NDAs where they can never talk about any stuff. But
they're mind controlled already.
Yeah. I want to show this real quick when we were talking about clones or whatever. Like, I think there's genetically engineering. I don't know what they do or how they're doing it. I won't say that they are like that. Anyways, but so here, this is just out of this is kind of an older video, but this is in South Korea, and you can see the video is kind of dated, so keep that in mind. So let's watch this real quick. This is again for commentary purposes.
average beagles, all frisky and rambunctious. But they have a special feature. Once you turn off the lights and shine an ultraviolet light on them, they glow. Scientists in South Korea have engineered these dogs with fluorescent genes. You can actually see some of the redness in the daylight, but the glowing can best be seen in these pictures. He says they're not playing mad scientist and insists this actually has a unique medical purpose. He says this shows that it is possible to successfully insert genes with a specific trait into a living animal. And he says that could lead to implanting other non-fluorescent genes that could help treat specific diseases. In the meantime, he says the dogs, which are all named Ruppy, are doing well. Ed Donahue, The Associated Press.
Thoughts?
Wow. Wow. Yeah, of course. We don't want to do anything bad with this. We just wanted to see if we could. And now that we can, we're going to do so many great things. This is such a good idea.
And the way he stated it too, because oh, I'm hearing myself. Sorry. He literally was like, it said that thing, and then it was like it had the narrator, and they were like, to use this for like now that we know we can put genes into stuff, we can use this for other diseases, like other diseases for beagles.
Mm-hmm.
In the part where he said that it's not that we're being mad scientists, and then I all of a sudden thought about Dr. Fauci when I don't know if y'all have seen that news report a while back with beagles, where they locked their heads in cages and let their heads get eaten by sand fleas. Yeah, you tell me they're not being mad scientists, I'm like, they say they're not, but it's only evident that they are.
They actually, now this is off and yet on the subject, is they actually have a restaurant in California where they eat human, and they have a menu, and I forget what somebody in chat, anything know that they eat human flesh, and it's donated. They're donated, so it's okay, whatever. It's
how the heck are you kidding me? What human flesh is donated?
I'm not kidding you. And there's a chef that does it, and they have the rights of the person who donated their body to be eaten. And yes, there's a restaurant in California somewhere.
I'm just so you mean right now, if I died, I in my will I could say I want to be eaten by this restaurant, and then they will come and they will take my body, and they
wanted you because you got to be primo. These people pay big bucks, but yes, there is a restaurant that has literally had their menu and their everything on the tubes, and the chef, and yes.
Well, yes. I don't want to like freak everybody out, but it's been known for a while that they've used aborted babies and done experimented and stuff, and they come up with some food preservatives. And
that's why I don't drink any Pepsi products, because they literally put stem cells from aborted fetuses inside their beverages. They call them like taste amplifiers.
Right.
And that makes it tricks your brain into making it think it tastes good.
No.
Yeah.
So much is not even funny.
Yeah.
Like that.
Wendy Moore just said she believes it's in San Diego, that restaurant. But yes, it is in California. Absolutely true. Cannibalism.
I don't remember what movie it is. I think it was actually the new Venom movie that I recently watched with my wife. But in a part, he eats like a person. He goes, "You tasted like pork." And I always thought that was really interesting. And I know others have heard this before, but like how pigs and humans have like the exact same anatomy, like inside, and how they're kind of very weird creatures or whatever. But just like the fact that cannibals, like you can go look it up, and a lot of cannibals say that it tastes just like pork does.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
they've been this is what I guess I'm getting at. It has never changed since Babylon on, since whenever.
Yep.
But it's been underground. The only thing they're doing is trying to bring it above ground and make it normalize it.
Mm-hmm.
It's never stopped.
Really hasn't.
Yeah, it's crazy. All
I
right.
have
well,
no idea what's underground that's a chimera is what they already have.
Oh yeah, they have so. I was actually gonna say that earlier. It's like they're not mad scientists. Okay, then why are you building underground bunkers to hide all your stuff? And it's like, okay, you're showing us, sorry to those that I'm making them think of this, but they showed us those 4 beagles that were alive, right? That could be out in the sun and survive. But how many other animals, puppies, did they kill going through this process? You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
yeah, cool. They got 4 puppies that glow in the dark at the account of what, like untold. We'll never have an idea.
No. It's hideous. Totally hideous. Latter-day Saints is here.
What up, brother?
What up? How you doing?
Join me. I'm doing pretty good. Pretty sad that Anthony's not with us, him being locked up and all. But it's great to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. How have you been doing, brother?
I've been doing all right. Been kind of busy doing a little bit of work around here, but yeah, I saw your what you wrote about Anthony. That's too bad.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's the 8th day and he still hasn't had a single update to when he's gonna have a court date or a hearing or anything. So
He has no bail.
nope, he hasn't had any type of hearing. They've had him in jail for 8 days and he has no idea what's going on.
And the thing is, the only thing I can come up with and I haven't asked my son-in-law, but is that he had court dates that he didn't go to, so I don't know.
But even if that's the case, they'd still have to have arraignment for the additional charge.
Well, that has to be done within 48 hours.
And it's been 8 days.
Unless you can't call the weekend doesn't count. 48 business days. 48 hours.
You know what? I just thought of something. Is in the county jails now, well, in California, and I think it's all over the United States, is they put people in what they call like a 10-day or a 14-day quarantine, and sometimes that can usurp, because of these policies, that can usurp the legal procedures, like the way they're set in place.
What
and
a
if he
thought.
doesn't stand up and make a big deal out of it, then they just do it. He may have even arbitrarily signed something.
Right.
I'll ask him about that. If I don't know if he's signed anything or anything like that. I don't see him as a person to just be signing without understanding what he's signing.
That's true, yeah.
But maybe it's protocol, and he doesn't have to sign squat. They just make him. I don't know. There's so many things that are happening now that I can't keep up.
Yeah, I just know that they'll violate your rights left and right unless you really stand up and make a big deal out of it. But it's weird that he doesn't have a bail, though. Usually that's only for people on probation.
He has to have court to get a bail, and he hasn't had court.
Yeah, he's not had an arraignment, a hearing, nothing. Not even a guard coming up and saying, "Hey, you gotta. We're going through protocol. You have to wait 14 days before you can be seen by a judge."
So how did he call that cop?
Because I did a conference call.
Oh.
But Mississippi is a one party consent state. But the phone calls are recorded anyways because he's in jail. But
right.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't want to get too much into that. But unfortunately, he's in that position. But we've had quite a people reach out to help him out. So at least he has money on the books to get food and all that jazz.
Right. And he knows things are still going on with his EFC. Am I doing it right?
ECF. Yeah, ECF. I still do.
Sorry about that.
We shouldn't call it enclosed fellowship cosmology. I'm just joking.
I mess up all the time.
I do the same thing. I gotta like make myself do it. It's easier to see E. Well, and it's like EF. You know, like
Yeah,
you're
I
used to
know,
saying
I
that
know.
in the alphabet. Sweet. Okay. Well, I kind of shared up and brought up some topics that I wanted to kind of talk about.
Well, we went off.
Yeah.
We went off
No, it's okay.
from the moon to the cannibalism to the whatever.
Clones.
We hit
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, we hit a
And
lot.
we've been blowing Real's mind, REL's mind.
Seriously though, man. Well, I don't know. Wanted to talk about lucid dreaming. Have you guys ever talked about that or
I would
heard
love
anything
to talk
lucid
about
dreaming?
dreams. I'm a super big dreamer. I actually, for like the longest time in my life, would self-medicate specifically not to dream. Because I've seen like really like my dreams are extremely vivid, and I've seen some pretty horrific things. Actually kind of Wits It Gets It helped me kind of get over that, like at least that fear of, oh my God, I need to use this thing to not have bad dreams instead of, using the Father for that. So I had some change with that, but like my whole life I've had depictions of, like end times thing. And just one quick comment, and I'll let you kind of talk about from your side. But I had this dream one time. This is when I recently had moved to Utah, and in the dream, like it was like a dark, cloudy day or night, and all of a sudden, like look up, there's all these orange circles in the sky coming through the clouds, and then they break the clouds, and it's all these like big rocks falling down. And they like come and they hit the ground. And this is before I had made my move. This is like back in early 2015, 2016. And and so the very next night, so like I had that dream. So the day goes, and then the night, I went to go get gas at a corner store right across the street. I pulled up to the thing, got out, started walking inside, and then if y'all go on my YouTube, just like the Vader Bear, and I'll share the video here in a second, but I literally filmed all of these fireballs flying over the Salt Lake City Valley from west to east. And when I first saw them, I was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" Because like I had that dream, but what was so weird is they never fell. They just kept flying in a straight line across the sky. They never went down at all, and they were all different like shapes and sizes of flaming balls. So I've had, and then one more real quick is what kind of led for me and my wife to remain together during our early time when we first started dating was I literally had a dream. I told her about that dream 2 weeks later. That dream happened in real life almost exactly as the dream was, and when the kind of event escalated, I remembered about that. I told her, and that was kind of one of the reasons why we remained together, because it was like, oh my gosh, how did I predict this 2 weeks before it happened?
Right.
But yeah, I think dreams are crazy. I think dreams, when we dream, we go to a realm. It's a place we all share. But it's crazy. But yeah, what do you think about lucid dreams?
I haven't.
No, I want to hear her lucid dreams, because the one thing I don't do is I don't dream. At least I don't know that I do.
Well, see, that is what a lot of people say. And what I'm learning is that we all dream, we don't remember. And it takes like practice and determination and intent to remember your dreams and like practice the like brain muscle to become lucid and aware in your dreams so that you can, experience this other dimension or this other realm that, I guess that you think that we're all a part of, which is really interesting. And I think that would be cool too. I've never had a lucid dream. I have had dreams before. And I think that when I was younger, I might have had a lucid dream. So just so that for everyone out there, the definition of lucid dreaming is that you become aware that you are dreaming in the dream, and you are able to interact with the dream and even
manifest and change
manipulate.
things.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yes, people, and this is science, right? There's books and books and books of people out there who are doing this. So they have to remember dream recall. So they can remember their dreams when they wake up, which is the first thing. But when they're in their dream, they realize they're dreaming. They can stabilize the dream. They can control their emotions and like not get too excited that they're dreaming, and stay in that realm, that dimension, and ask it questions, interact with the people, because you have people in your dreams, right? They can talk to you, they talk back to you, you can fly. Like I think it has a lot to do with the subconscious, and
That's what I think.
reading more about it, the subconscious is conscious of itself. Like there's so many different layers to us, our souls, our spirits as human beings. I want to lucid dream because I want to ask my dreams what is up.
There's
awesome.
there's some herbs that is supposed to be able to help with dreaming, like they say make a pillow of mugwort. It's supposed to help you dream, and then rosemary is supposed to help you with your memory of the dream. I don't recall.
Honey's supposed to give you sweet dreams.
It's many years ago that I read on this, so I don't remember it too well. It's not something I ever tried. Well, actually, I did try the mugwort pillow one time. My buddy had some mugwort, but it didn't seem to do nothing for me. But there's a lot of literature on that. I just haven't looked for it in years and years. So.
Now, you said the subconscious. The subconscious is a strange cookie. The subconscious, when they said nightmares happen because when we go to sleep at night, all that we happen during the day, our subconscious is at work, filing it all away. Filing it in here and there. And when we have a nightmare, it's when it doesn't know where to put it. It doesn't know where to place this in the file.
So I have this example of lucid dreaming that happens all the time. Now it like I lucid dream, but it's not like I just go into a dream and boom, I can start, like I'm a god now and I can do whatever I want. But it's in particular situations when I realize that I'm in a dream that I always decide to do these exact same things. So I'll give you an example. Everyone has had that dream in which they are trying to run away from something, but they can't. They're just moving slowly. It's like they're in mud or something's grabbing their feet. Right? Like we've all had that. Every time I've had that, I always in my dreams realize that that's happening and go down on all fours. I start running and I almost imagine myself as like a wolf. But I all of a sudden when my feet hit the ground, my hands hit the ground, all of a sudden I can just start running way faster than if I was a human or in a dream comparatively to what I was just running. And then as soon as I do that, like I start running away, and then that dream goes away. And then when I was a child, we begged and begged and begged me and my brother, our parents, to take us to see the Jurassic Park. I was like 6. And that like literally traumatized me, because my entire life for a good portion of it, I had dinosaur dreams where they'd always be chasing me and I'd escape and I'd barely get away, and then another one would start chasing me and so I'd have these nightmares all night long where I was just constantly being chased and barely escaping from dinosaurs. So one time during the dream, I was like, you know what, I'm sick of this. If it eats me, then I'm just gonna wake up and I won't have to keep running away. And I literally let it eat me, and then I never had a scary dinosaur dream again. So there's definitely, like when you're talking about subconscious, there's definitely elements of your subconscious where I feel like, even though like we almost imagine as dreams as just like this place that doesn't matter and doesn't have any like kind of effect on our day-to-day lives, right? Because wherever we are there, or whatever we gain there, doesn't come back to here, and we feel like this is our main reality. But I think that it's very important that we connect the two things together. Humans need to sleep. We need to access that realm X amount of time throughout our life, or we literally die, right? Or our body gets drained and withers.
Our subconscious has no emotion, has no anything. It has a job. It's logical. It's putting itself. I had a brain thing a long time ago. I studied on the brain. Even our heart has a brain. Do you know that? It has brain cells just like it.
Yeah, totally.
It's called a heart brain, and I never knew that for a while. But so that's why our heart actually. Anyway.
Yeah, and so like things like that, as an example, me facing my fear, turning around to the dinosaur and letting it eat me, well then boom, that let's just say that curse all of a sudden is gone. Now it's just the blessing.
You know why? Of your subconscious, the fear that your subconscious was trying to file somewhere, now it had a place to file it. Boom, it's gone.
Yeah, and so I think that you bringing that up, I think we should pay attention more to our dreams. And at least maybe if we're having these reoccurring things or these reoccurring themes in our dreams, that is, it's 100% the Father trying to wake us up and say, hey, I'm trying to get you to deal with something. Because in the dream realm, like, it's really easy to face death and get eaten by a dinosaur, right?
Right.
But in the real life, it's really hard. So maybe sometimes when we're having struggles in our lives, maybe we're being indicated in our dreams, and either we're not remembering those dreams because what does it matter? That's just a place where I go when I sleep, that I don't remember, or whatever it is. And we're kind of losing out on some ways that we can strengthen ourselves, and definitely in the spiritual place.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
They're usually strange. They're usually strange. I mean, I've dreamed, but do I dream on it all the time? Absolutely not. Well, I probably do, but I don't remember most of them. I dreamed as a kid, but I've got to tell you a dream I just had, and you all in chat and all you guys here, you'll get a kick out of it because it has to do. Okay, I won't give the punchline yet. I had this with somebody we all know. And my dream was just prior to waking. It was, how do I want to say it? Maybe I was lucid dreaming or something. But I couldn't control myself. But it was in this weird state. I know it was in a weird state. It wasn't like sound asleep, but I was asleep. Anyway, I was in a doctor's place, and it wasn't my husband, but it was my husband, but he wasn't who I'm married to. And I'm in this room looking at him, or trying to find the doctor's office, and all he did is spouting scripture at me, like he's reading the Bible, just reading chapter after chapter and he's looking straight ahead, and I'm going, stop it. We got to find the doctor's office, and it's just scripture. And I got so mad at him, I shook him, and I said, stop it. We've got to find, I've got a doctor's appointment. And then I pushed him away, and he left, and somebody else came right up alongside of me, and he's doing the same thing, scripture. And I'm trying to go away from me. And then I finally, it went on for a little bit, and then I went, and then I started to look around, and everybody's robots is just scripture. And I go, I'm not even in the right building. How do I get to my doctor's appointment? I go outside, I wake up, and guess what's in my ear? A Bluetooth. And I'm listening to Adam Fink reading scripture. And I had a whole dream around it.
Whole dream. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. And I really do kind of agree with you, Vader, listening to your talk and how, you kind of see dreams as the subconscious way of communicating with us, and, how if you don't take care of things in your subconscious in the dream realm, then it will manifest as problems in reality in your waking state as well. And if you were like lucid, so you did become lucid in your dream enough to run away from it, and it was all because you had intentions and you believed that that's what would work, so it worked for you. If you had thought in that moment that flying away would work for you, it would have worked, and you would have flown really fast instead of running really fast, because
that's what lucid is.
Lucid. Yes, exactly. But I still feel like he had kind of sort of a lucid dream, because he changed it. The same with the way when he allowed the dinosaur to eat him. But he could have, if it really was a lucid dream, he would have turned around to the dinosaur and said, "Why are you chasing me? What do you want? Why is this scary? Tell me what you mean. Tell me what you are trying to tell me." And the dinosaur would then say, go tell your grandma hi. It's been a month. Like, I don't know.
Well, and kind of interesting add on that. I don't know if it was like the night after that, but the last dinosaur dream I had, I actually went to this, Jurassic Park island that is like the first island that they first started their experiments on, but they had a whole bunch of slow dinosaurs. Like their T-Rex was acting like a dog, like just super happy to see you and like wagging its tail, and it had this like log that it wanted you to like, to go get and stuff. And then there was like a duckbill platypus that was like literally playing patty cake. And like I literally remember this dream and going to each of these dinosaurs that I had been scared of, and it was like I was manifesting what that creature was, so I was no longer scared of it. And then that, like, once that dream happened, I never ever had a dinosaur dream again. So I think that was a point of it.
It's a good thing. You think we should try and? I mean, I don't understand.
So to be honest, I don't know if I want to ask anyone questions, because I don't know who's answering me. Personally, I'm not going to tell anyone not to do what they want to do, but to me that's always weird, because if you're asking something, you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know if it's your subconscious, you don't know if it's an unclean spirit. Because this kind of leads me to this: have you ever experienced has anyone ever experienced sleep paralysis, as it's medically called?
I absolutely have. And I felt it was demonic, and I was trying to get up. We were literally in a motel room, and he was off to work, and I was in the motel room, and I could not, for the life of me, I was pinned down, and I feel like I was awake, and yet whatever, and I could not move. And finally I did, and I said, I want to check out of this room. There's something demonic in here. And we did. We checked out of the room and went to another room. It was scared me to death.
That is awful.
So I'll give you a kind of in-depth. So this is when I was living in Texas at the time. My first dog, Noah, it was like midday, like 3 maybe, and I was taking a nap because I was tired, and I laid down, and I was facing like away from the wall towards the door. My dog was on the other side of me, between me and the wall. And I sleep with the fan on because I like the sound of it. I like the fresh air in my face. But as I was falling asleep, it's like I could hear something in the fan. Like I could hear something. And as I listened closer and closer, it's like I could hear it more and more and more. And basically what it was like, I'll give you an example. Like all this weird, crazy, like talking. And it just like went more and more and more until like I realized like wait, there's no way this fan is making this noise. So I started trying to open my eyes, but I can like barely open them. But I can open them enough to see that there's like this huge, tall shadow figure standing right behind the fan. And that like instantly scares me. So I like shut my eyes real quick. And all of a sudden, like as soon as I shut my eyes fully, I felt like this immense pressure on my chest. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, if I could just touch my dog, I would know this is a dream and I was wake up, but I could not move my arm. And then I was like, well, if I just do this, and I kept going through these, if I just do this, but nothing ever happened. But eventually, like, that experience, the first time faded away, and then I fell asleep. And then, so after waking up, like in the evening or whatever.
You fell asleep after that?
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Oh,
and
man,
then
I was up and out of that room in a heartbeat.
And then, because like, it was a long thing. It was like, I was like, if I could just open my eyes, I could wake up, and that wouldn't work. If I could just lift my foot, that would work. Went through all of these things. But anyways, but then when I so I woke up that evening, and as soon as I woke up, I just started doing all this research about sleep paralysis, sex, etc., etc. Now, I was raised Christian, but like during this part of my life, it wasn't a big part of my life. I claimed that I was, but it wasn't manifesting in my life. But anyways, so I saw all these accounts of people going through the same thing, and them all saying like, just say, in the name of Jesus, I command you to leave my presence, or some, iteration of that. And so like, I really remembered that. So the very same night I went to sleep, and the exact same thing happened, this experience. But all of a sudden, like when I knew that it was there, it was all of a sudden on top of me. And then the first thing that I thought of was like, okay, I just got to say this thing. Like I was thinking about it. I just got to say this thing and I'll wake up. And as soon as I thought that, all of a sudden I could feel my body being drug off the bed. And then my next thought was like, okay, well, as soon as I feel my toes go over the edge, I'll know I'm about to fall and I'll wake up. So as soon as my toes go over the edge, I stop moving. And then I say, and that freaked me out. And then I just like in my spirit or in myself, I just yelled, I tried to yell it, but it was like, in the name of Jesus, I command you to leave my presence. And boom, I woke up, and I never, ever had sleep paralysis ever again.
Well, I did the name of Jesus too. I couldn't say it because everything, I was pinned down. I couldn't speak. And in my head, I'm wrestling and trying and thinking it, but it didn't work. It kept me pinned down until finally, I don't know why, but then finally I was able to get up.
Do you think maybe, so, all right, if we're talking about lucid dreaming, we already established that we think that there's interdimensional, it's another place where our consciousness goes. And we already believe that there are unclean spirits in the physical realm. So maybe there are unclean spirits who are trying to affect your body, you know what I'm saying? So, but does that have, do you think that they are doing that because of your dreams? Basically,
So
they can go back and forth between the dimensions, right? Maybe they're like, we want you to be scared of this dream, even though you can't even remember it or whatever, some lesson that you learned in the other dimension.
This is what I thought at the time. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know of any dream, but this is what I thought, is that when you go into motel rooms, you really should pray over any of those rooms, because you don't know what's gone on there. And there can even be territorial things. And I just thought there was a demonic spirit in that room for whatever reason, that room. And it just got a hold of me. But that's kind of was my thought at the time. And that's why we moved rooms. But I pray over any room, a hotel room or whatever we go to, always since then, because I said no. I don't get out of here.
So this is my basic idea, my hypothesis of kind of what's going on is, I think unclean spirits maybe are able to get to that place, to the dream world, via us. So let me take a step back. When you dream, I'll ask this to all of y'all, and it's like trying to first thing that comes in your head, kind of keep that up, and don't let what other people say influence you. But I'll ask you this question, and you answer it. Okay, so don't blurt it out yet. I'll ask each of you one by one. But when you dream, which direction do you go? And I'll start out with Daryl. Daryl Lee, do you feel like you go a direction when you dream? And if so, which direction?
Oh, God, you got me on that one. I never really...
What's your instinct?
North.
Okay. Flat-Earth Saints, what about you, instinct? Where do you go? Like, what direction do you go when you're dreaming?
The first thing I thought was up.
Okay. What about you, Ariel?
I said right.
Okay.
To the right.
Okay, Marcia?
Literally no direction. I mean, I was the latest dream was standing. I don't think I go any direct.
Okay, so
it's too hard to think of.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, so when you wake up, I don't know. Maybe this is just me.
Then I went right. When I woke up, because I went to the right and I went to the sidewalk. Yes, I went right, and then I woke up.
So, no, I'm not saying the direction you were going in your dream. What I mean is, so when I dream, I feel like as I'm dreaming, I feel like I'm going up. And then when I wake up, I feel like something sits down in me, and that's what wakes me up. It's like it comes into me and it wakes me up. So this is my theory. Like, I'm not saying this is gospel or anything, but I think that when you dream, there is a spiritual part of you. This is not just chemical reactions happening in your brain. This is, and speaking of which, if you look into the people that have done DMT, they say, this isn't like most other, and I haven't done any of these. I'm very scared of hallucinogens, just because you can't stop them. But anyways, that when they've done other hallucinogens, it changes your universe. But when you do DMT, you are teleported to a different universe. Now, DMT is used in your brain chemically to when you are born, when you die, and when you dream. So I think there is a chemical reaction that maybe happens that allows your spirit to then come out, because you're not conscious of it, because all your systems are kind of shut down, and then we go to this other realm. And I think it's up. It may be it's bigger than we think, and I don't know. But when I had that sleep paralysis, what I felt like was that being, that unclean spirit, was stopping me from going fully to the dream realm. And so when they were stopping me, I was aware of it, and that's why they attacked me. They attacked me because I realized that they were there with me. And when I realized that, that's when they became hostile. So to your question, and the reason why I don't necessarily know if I would be asking things, questions, desires or questions in my heart, because I think that unclean spirits have access to those places via our spirit. And so you had kind of said this before, where you're saying like they're causing or not causing things to happen in your subconscious via, you know, the dream realm, and that's manifesting issues in your life. I think that's totally true. I think that goes into diseases and sicknesses. I think that goes into people's hate, you know, like hate for their fellow brother. They have a dream. Like, I'll just give you an example. My wife, if she has a dream about me cheating and leaving her, she wakes up angry at me, right? And we all have done that, and I totally get it. But but what my point is to her, that was real. Her real feelings were really getting hurt. I was really telling her I didn't want her, and so so she woke up with that manifesting in her life.
Yeah.
So maybe they're able to take little pieces of our subconscious, things that we're scared of, things that give us anxiety, and they're able to concoct these scenarios with this in this dream realm around us to exploit our fears and our shortcomings and stuff like that, to then affect us in our real life.
Well, then that almost makes dreams scary to me. I think they can be demonic. I think they like that sleep paralysis thing, and but I don't think they.
No, what I'm saying is, I preface all that saying I wasn't in a good part of my life during those times. I wasn't, like, ever since I've come to the Father, like, and really put my foot in, like, not just one foot in, one foot out, but like really stepped into it. I don't have those things anymore. I see beautiful things. Like, I got to, like, my dad passed away in 2016, and I got to, like, right after he died, I actually got to hug him and talk with him. And then, like, 6 months later from that, I got to see him again. So it's like, I've definitely been blessed. You know, I tell the story about me and my wife, you know, becoming husband and wife, like, because of a dream. So there's definitely beauty in it. But that's why I kind of warned people and said, we all just think it's this thing that we have to do, and we kind of underestimate the value of dreaming and what that means. And what that does in our lives in subconscious, and we kind of chalk it up to just it's just a piece of natural process. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's more important than that, is all that I'm saying. And it may be like because you didn't think about it, you had protection out of ignorance. So I'm sorry about that if that's the case, but I do think if we're being fed in the spirit, in the flesh, and we're reading scripture and we're walking out the Father, then I think that gives us a lot going into our dreams. But I don't know. That's just my general conception about what dreams are. I think they're more important than we think they are.
You brought up Ariel, you brought up lucid dreaming. What is for a purpose? And I really want to know what you, are thinking about it.
So I want to go and explore lucid dreaming because I'm, trying to get in contact with the Creator. And I think that our consciousness is just such a fascinating thing to explore. And if I can master awareness in this realm, and when I say that, I'm thinking of the people who talk about, they are aware their entire sleep state, from being awake to your body falling asleep, to your body being asleep, to you not having any dreams, to you having dreams, to you not having any dreams, to you being awake, like being aware and their body still feeling like. I think DMT and stuff like that, all of it, I think everything about this realm is intention. If my intention is to meet the Creator, I will do that. If your intention is to, just have fun, then you have left the door open for other people to influence you. So I think I haven't personally had like any like sleep paralysis or any like supernatural like experiences. I've had stuff, you know, coincidences where that have been blessings, but I haven't had any
Coincidence
like,
theorist.
you know, spiritual things, you know, entities or anything that I can say spirit, but I know that exists and I believe in that. I don't think that I think we humans, we have a lot more power over the spirit realm than the spirits have over us.
Oh yeah,
And
we just don't know it.
Exactly. And if my intention is to not interact with them, then they cannot interact with me. And if my intention in the dream state is to meet the creator and to find out what's wrong with my subconscious or whatever my subconscious is trying to tell me, then that's what's going to happen because I am in control of that much. Does that make sense?
No,
Yeah.
I totally agree that we do.
Vader was making a point that I started thinking about, and that is, let's say your intention and you're just focusing on Yah. You're just focused, and your whole being and everything, your mind, will, strength, whatever. I think it would change dreams to good.
Yeah.
And closer. And I think that is actually something we should, I don't know, even pray before sleeping, please, whatever. I mean, I have my prayers before sleeping, but not about dreams. But that would be very interesting.
So we have Kyle join us. How you doing, brother? Shabbat shalom.
What's up, guys? Shabbat shalom. And I had to tune in as soon as y'all talked about lucid dreams. I definitely had to listen.
All right. Well, I know you have stories too. You want to share any of them with us?
Not necessarily, but what I did have a question about, like, what is the book say about dreams, or does it not have anything?
So in dreams, specifically in scripture, a lot of the times you're having prophetic dreams, you're having communication from the Father to one of his children. And so that's why I'm kind of insinuating dreams are way more important than we think they are, because in scripture they're used as a vehicle for communication.
I think that was a great question. Yeah. That was a really good question.
Yeah,
what does it say about scripture? And it's for visions and for things like that, but not necessarily everyday dream or whatever. But
right.
There's a scripture that says that old men will dream dreams and young men will have visions.
Yes,
I think,
but
like
dreams, God showed things through dreams to people. So that was an excellent question.
I think that's 100% true as well, because my experiences, I don't really want to. It's more of a spiritual thing for me to, like, not sit out here and explain my
it's
fully.
They're intimate. I get it.
Yeah, and I mean, and thing is with my dreams also, I mean, a lot of things kind of like I've moved places, I've done this, but I've foreseen them, in my dreams, and it really makes me think like I'm on the right path, and if I see it in my, like, how can I explain it?
No, you're seeing it in your dream, and then when you see it, you're like, okay, I'm on the path that was laid before me because I'm seeing this now, and I know I'm in the right place at the right time.
And these could be dreams like 6 months ago that have happened, and then some of them are the night prior. I mean, it happens to me frequently, but I really, it's very intimate to me, and yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that really opened up my eyes.
Hey, Vader.
What's up, brother?
We were talking about DMT, so I've done DMT. I don't know how many times. I've done it a lot, right? But the thing is how. So I've had some really strange experiences. Like for instance, this was like in 2016 or 2017. I was at the beach, and I fell asleep at the beach, and it was during the summer. And when I woke up, I realized I'd been there way too long. So I went home, and I started to get a sunburn. So within like 2 days, I had such a bad sunburn that I guess I had gotten like sun poisoning. I'd been there so long, and I was sick for like 3 days and anything. But it was just on one side of my body because I was sleeping on my stomach. So there was like literally like a line from my underarm down to like my waist of where the sunburn was. So this was like maybe like 8 months to a year later when I did DMT. And the second I took a hit of it, my body instantly started burning in the exact places where my sunburn had been before. And then another time, it was weird in Santa Barbara. It was on the news that somebody had been taking hair that appeared to be thicker than human hair. They thought it could have been horse hair, and each one was like 6 inches long, and it was probably as thick as like a cucumber, and it was tied off on each end, right? And they were wrapping it in this weird white paper, and they were putting it in the middle of the street for like about 2 miles, like once every like maybe 10 blocks or something. I saw it on the news, so I went down there and actually saw one of these things in the middle of the street. And I put gloves on. I went and put it in a Home Depot bucket, and I put a lid on it. I put it in the back of my Suburban, and I forgot about it. It had been there like a week, and I had forgot about it. And I was in my friend's house up on the mountain, and as soon as I took a hit of DMT, I literally like looked through. It looked like I was looking right through the wall, through the body of my car, at this bucket, and this bucket. The only thing I could describe it is like if you have a lobster inside of a pot of boiling water and the whole pot is moving, like jumping around, and that lid's trying to come off. That's what I saw. And I instantly knew that I felt like there was just a demon, like the demon was trying to get out of there. So I ended up taking it to the beach that night and lighting it on fire, and then I threw it in the water. But
never took DMT again, right?
No, I did. Another time I felt like I needed to get metal away from my body. I ripped off my hat off my head. And with my thumb and my index finger, I was able to rip the the metal button that's on top of your hat. Like yeah. I take them out usually with like you need like wire cutters or something to take them out. But I was able to rip that off of my hat. So like with my bare fingers, I've tried that before and I've never been able to do that. So I think it definitely opens up some type of door doing the DMT.
Totally. And I'm not throwing any judgment. Like I just said, me personally, like with DMT, with DMT or any hallucinogens, I did do, you can buy it at a smoke shop, the stuff called salvia. I had weird experiences in there, both good and bad, but though it lasts like 15 minutes and then you come out of it. So everything else is, to me, I was just too scared of to do those. But specifically bringing that up, I've heard a lot of talk where, specifically with DMT, that people are running into what are sometimes referred to as clockwork elves or machine elves. Did you ever meet like entities while you were doing that?
No, but one thing that's happened every time I've taken a hit of it is I instantly start seeing like, you know how stars, when you look at them through a telescope, they like change colors?
And they all like wobble and color and glitter.
I would see letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols like going across the screen of my vision that were like Tetris almost, that were like the multicolor of stars. And that's something that's happened every single time I've ever done it.
Oh, it's too scary for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Yeah.
To try, baby. Like I would try DMT. Like it's so scary.
I love DMT.
My personal opinions against No Rocks is that is something that happens naturally again when you're born, when you die, and when you dream. And it's like, I don't know if I want to go to a place where I'm not supposed to be during one of those 3 times. Because I personally think, like, and I don't know, I haven't done it, Latter-day Saints, but do you feel like you're teleported to another place, or do you feel like your current reality is just being changed?
Yeah, like the latter. I feel like another place is being teleported to me.
Okay, so yeah, either way, like you are teleported whichever way to this place. It's not like you're just in the same place. It's just, because like I hear, like, I haven't done these things, but like acid, like you see like things swirl, or is that shrooms? You see things swirl and stuff like that. So
I've
Well,
never.
I think on all of these things, what the main thing you feel is you feel everything breathing. Like you can feel. I don't know. Now I think about it, it's probably like a frequency, but you can almost see like the walls and everything all breathing in unison. Especially if you're at the beach, you see the waves breathing with everything else. It's a trip.
yeah.
But did you not see that like before taking it? Because like whenever I step outside, like I could just feel the like the not like just the energy around, and you see life everywhere. I know it sounds kind of like cliche and whatever, but like I go to the beach, I sit there and stare at the waves. I stare at every little thing, and I feel like, I mean, maybe life events that have happened to me have gotten me to think that way and feel that way, but I feel like naturally it comes to me, and I feel like it should with everyone else. And you don't need that high, that DMT high to be on there or whatever.
My son took DMT, and he said it only lasts about 15 minutes. And he told me, he jumped on his bed and he had claws for arms, and I'm going, oh my gosh, why would you ever do something? But then that's my son, he's not a Christianer, and he's laughing, and I'm horrified. So, but he had these long claws on him, and now, is that true? It only lasts about 15 minutes?
Yeah, like I'd say even less than that.
Yeah.
So here's kind of a question or kind of a thought that I want to bring it up with, like what our main topic is now, is like, so hallucinogens, most people think it's like this chemical reaction happening in your body, like shrooms, you're going through this form of food poisoning with the mixture of the parts in the fungi. With LSD, you're taking this compound that does these certain things chemically to your brain, and then with DMT, you're inducing a naturally occurring substance within your body, but during a time that you normally wouldn't have that in your. But what my point is with all that is, like I was saying with dreams, people think that they're just, like they're just like a chemical reaction. You're just sleeping because your body needs to sleep, or you're seeing these things because your chemical, wires are getting mixed. And so what I'm suggesting is that the sleep place and these places or things that people see during, with hallucinogens are real places. But without having experience, I don't want to, sound like I know what I'm talking about, but it seems like that those places are real places. You're accessing realms that you typically wouldn't, but it's sold to us again as just a chemical thing. What are y'all thoughts about that?
I'm thinking of a Kung Fu episode. I used to watch Kung Fu a lot, where young Kwai Chai Kang was entrusted with a scroll that was ancient, that he was entrusted with to take care of, and it got stolen from him. But anyhow, on the scroll, it said, from this ancient writer, it said, there's a man that went to sleep and dreamt that he was a butterfly. And then when he woke, he couldn't tell if he was a butterfly dreaming he was a man, or if he was a man that dreamt about being a butterfly.
Well, that's confusion.
I want to say one thing to what you were talking about when you found that doll, that hair doll, in the street or whatever. That's actually a curse, and the curse. The reason why they probably lined it up on the streets is because they knew a certain person was going down those streets, and they were looking to harm a person or multiple people. And just like with my limited knowledge on that type of stuff, it was like that was like a straight up planned curse. That's like stuff that people would get burned at the stake for, like back in the day. You know, like a lot of people, even with that, and this is so random, but even with that, like we have all the Salem witch trials where we feel bad for these people, and I don't know if that's a real story. And of course, I feel sorry and hope grace and mercy is put upon anyone that is unjustly, tried and convicted of anything. But I think that those type of things were a lot more prevalent back in the day. Obviously, we know post Babel and pre flood, these things were happening everywhere. Or during Babel and then pre-flood were happening everywhere. And as Marsha was suggesting earlier, how they're slowly, introducing these things where, 10 years ago, you could totally not have a restaurant in San Diego where you're selling human flesh to be eaten that's donated. And who believes that? Who believes someone is donating? They probably go find their people and kidnap them. But anyways,
Thank you.
but point being is now you can go to a restaurant where you do it, and it's like all of these other things. And I honestly think what's going to be a big coming thing is the infusion of virtual reality and hallucinogenics. Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, I'm real curious. You said you just could, you're not lucid dreaming. You're not any of that. It's just something you bring yourself awake to. Like, you go to the ocean and you said you feel it breathing and doing that.
I was talking about in real life. Like, I went to Hawaii and I'm just, go on.
No, that's what I was curious about.
Okay, yeah, no, that's all real life stuff, and then I 100% fully lucid dream nearly every night.
Wow.
Just about different things, and it seems like my body doesn't sleep, but it does. But I don't remember every single dream, but I remember having what is it called where you remember something happening and it hits you in your face. What there's a word.
Vu?
Deja vu, yeah. That's the word. I constantly have deja vu, especially in specific moments, and that's more of on the dream side. And then in real life, it's just more of like, gathering everything I can and observing and, just watching. Yeah, I'm really observant. But yeah, you got any other questions?
I got a random question. Oh, go ahead, Marsha.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, has anyone ever here's a random thing. You've been driving and then you just had like a thought to like slam the wheel to one direction, but you're like, of course I wouldn't do that. Has anyone ever experienced anything like that? Like walking over a bridge and be like, I'll just jump over it, or anything like that?
Dude, I feel like that all the time.
So there's actually a French term for it, and that French term for us is literally named call of the void. It says the call of void is that feeling when you stand in a high place and think about jumping but don't actually want to and actually don't do it, or you're driving in a car and you think about turning really fast but you don't do it and you never would do it. Has anyone ever had an experience like that?
Definitely. I think pretty much daily, but not like it's more of like a meme inside my head than it is like these are daily thoughts where either I think about crashing and dying,
or punching someone in the face. Like you're walking by someone you've never seen them ever in your life. You have no reason to dislike them, but in just your head you're like, I'll just punch them in the face.
You just want to sock them, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So that 100%. Is literally, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, but it's like l'appel de void, and it literally means call of the
void.
The void. And it describes the impulse to hurl yourself into a void, like whatever it is. And there's a whole bunch of things out there that like give like sleep paralysis, where we give these kind of scientific names to them. But they're not really, scientific. Like, we still don't understand why humans need to dream. Like, physiologically, we do not have any understanding of dreams. We know we do dream, we can describe them, but we have where they come from, why we have them, they have no idea.
Speaking of that, I do want to share one story if I could.
Of course.
Okay, so I think this was it was in 2008. It's right whenever Barack Obama was president, January, because I remember the World Cup being that year in either I don't know what country it is, but I remember it being that year, or it was 2010, sorry. I was on the couch that night, and I had this dream of me going to wake up my mother because I wasn't feeling well. I was having a bad night, whatever. I was probably 10, 12, whatever it was. I was probably 12. Anyway, and then whenever I would touch her, I'd wake up on the couch again. And this happened 3, 4, 5 times. And I'm just sitting there, trying to wake up. I can't. I feel like I'm right there in front of my mom, finna touch her, but then I ended up waking up and then ended up back on the couch. And so I just thought about screaming. So I was just screaming, and then finally, that those events kept happening until my mom came to me and was like, "Hey, what's wrong? Like why are you screaming? You're on the couch. It's 3 a.m. Whatever." And I really wanted to share that story because that's the only time I've had one of those dreams ever in my life. I didn't see a shadow. I just literally could not wake up. Literally sleep paralysis. It was crazy.
I didn't see anything either. I saw the room I was in, but I could not get up. But I didn't see an entity or shadows or
maybe that's just part of a type of sickness or whatever, but that's the only time I have had that happen. And I'm pretty sure that was after getting my kid vaccines or whatever. So, I mean, around that time, I know I was getting vaccines probably every 6 months because doctor, and then whenever I became 12, I told my mom I didn't want to take medicine. I didn't want, shots or anything like that. And then she kind of researched it and, anyway, but, I mean, that's the only time, I've had those dreams. It's been one time. I've never had sleep paralysis again.
I've only had it once too.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are, 15 minutes past. I appreciate all those that have stayed here, and not only those in the panel, but those in the chat. We do appreciate that. We're going to start winding down, but I have a kind of special request from everybody. And I said kind of a special request because I always ask you to leave comments because it really helps the channel grow. It really lets YouTube know that this content is share worthy. That gets more people to join the table. That gets more people to join the Discord and the discussions there. And it grows the community. We get more puzzle pieces to share with one another as we all are truth seekers seeking the truth. So what my special request is please leave a comment, but this one, leave a comment about the dream that's the most important dream that you would like to share. And we'll read those off. We'll make a bigger thing for it so we can get all those dreams described. And I'd love to kind of, since this is such a fun topic, to get other people's ideas and thoughts and experiences that they've shared and share that on the next stream. So so that's the next thing I got to do. I'm going to pull that up for y'all right now. So every stream when we end it, some of the housekeeping is we will go through the comments from the last video and then just shout out those people and read those comments to kind of give them some love if they weren't able to join us live. So bear with me for just a moment while I get those pulled up. And so the last episode we had was the procession number 3, that's us moving from the Abraham, Nimrod, and then we had a procession. Now we're in Abraham. We're having a procession, and we're going to be moving in Isaac, and now we're going to be moving to Moses and Aaron and the happenings of the Exodus. So get excited for that. It's going to be awesome. But I'll pull these up for y'all. This is the ones from the Enclosed Cosmology. And let me get the other ones up. Almost here. Give me one brief second. Get that out of here. No. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to pull this up, and it's taking me longer than I thought. Here's the first one, though. So pull that on screen. Boom. Okay, so we got 2. We have Odd and Interesting, which I see you in the chat. Brother or sister, thanks for being here, and thanks for leaving a comment. We surely appreciate that. And let's go here and make this big so everyone can see it. So Odd and Interesting said, have any of you ever read Jasher? This account is explained. Both Ishmael and Isaac loved the Lord. They made a bet on who loved God more. I'm not trying to be critical. I love your chats. Wish I could join them. I did just do the Discord thing, though. Awesome. Yeah, people are always welcome to join the chats. And you know, the more you come, the more you're able to, participate. So we always invite people to join our chats anytime they'd like or make sense for them. To the Book of Jasher. Now, what I will say about the Book of Jasher is I can't equate, because it says, does it not say in the Book of Jasher, and says that thing, equate that to the entire Book of Jasher as we have it now, as valid. And to give you an example why I can't do that, to me that's almost like taking a fragment of a bone and then making this whole dinosaur around it. There's not really a line of where we get this information. Like the Book of Enoch, it is shown that not only is it in the in the Ethiopian Bible and has been there, it was in the 16 whatever, King James Version Bible, and then specifically Book of Enoch, just as an example. And then we also have it in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So there's like a line where we can get this with the Book of Jasher. I haven't found that yet. I'm always open to new information, so definitely share that in Discord if you have like a great video that explains how we know that our current Book of Jasher is valid. That's all I'd say to that. But I definitely appreciate your comment. Definitely would love to have you on and join us in Discord like it looks like you have, but join conversation. And then out to everyone, we're also always do an after show where we just kind of sit around and chat. You're free to come and join that, stay or leave whenever you'd like. And then also, while I'm saying all this, Tuesdays we're doing a Bible study right now on the Book of Jubilees. We've been going through that. So it's not something we're recording or whatever. It's just something we're reading and talking about as we go through and comparing it to what we see in the 66. But anyways, and then Marcia said, always a pleasure to be a part of this channel. Thank you, sister, for all the things that you do for everyone, in the whole community as a whole, and for being here and sharing all the stuff you do. You're awesome. So that was the processions number 3 over here, and then I'm gonna go to Take a World, pull those up. So bear with me. Give this a good pause. Scroll down. One more. There we go. And Mungo said thank you. No, thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, that's all the things. We definitely appreciate those. They help out, even though it's one. If it was more, even better. But anyways, we won't spend any more time there. And I'm just showing all y'all my screen. No point. There's nothing really there. But so yeah, let's go ahead and go and say our goodbyes. It's been a great show. Thanks for everyone that's joined us here, chat here, and on the round table itself, as well as those watched later. So I'll throw it off first to Daryl Lee. Say your goodbyes, kind sir.
Okay, well, I was just reading the scripture in Luke chapter 17, verses 20 and 21. I'll just read the red letters on it. The kingdom of God cometh not with observation, neither shall they say, Lo here, or Lo there. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you. And with that, I'd just like to say shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom indeed. Thank you, brother. And Latter-day Saints, thanks for joining us, brother. And as always, you'd always like to join us. I'd really like to do. I was telling Ariel earlier a special episode with you as well to share more of your music and kind of more of your story and stuff like that. Because I think you have a definite eager that I don't see in a lot of people. So I love that. I like it literally was. I don't know if I told you this story before. I think I have, but literally when you were in Austin's live stream when he was touring around, you went and got pizza, and like I was there in the chat, and I was like, Latter-day Saints, show the pizza, show me the pizza. And you literally like cracked it open like perfectly and like presented it to the stream. And it was just like, I don't know, it was so cool. After that experience, I was like, this is a real one. So that was long-winded, but yeah, always join us, brother. And for tonight, though, say your goodbyes.
All right. Yeah, I remember that well. Yeah. Thanks for having me, and until next time.
Yes, until next time. And then Kyle joined us there in the end when we started talking about dreams. So I know we've talked a lot about dreams in our relationship. So I love that you joined. Phil, you can join anytime, bro. It doesn't have to just be a topic that you can talk about. But anyways, yeah, go ahead and say your goodbyes to the people.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. And yeah, I try to be here in here whenever I can, but I have this new job and I will literally work 70 hours this week, and but yeah, I get busy, but I love being in here. I love seeing everyone. Daryl, Flatter Days. It's the first time I've seen you in here. Lemania Sabia, and then Marcia, and Vader, of course, and then Miss Vader. I love seeing y'all. I love hearing from y'all. And I love talking about what we talk about. I mean, it's just, there's nothing greater than just getting together and expressing each other's thoughts, comments, and feelings. So I appreciate you having me.
Yep, absolutely. Sharing those puzzle pieces, what we are about. Awesome. And then Lioness of Yah, Ariel, thank you, sister, for being here. Again, wife, if you don't mind throwing hers in the chat, as well as Latter-day Saints. Go check them out and subscribe to them. They have great content. Latter-day Saints makes a lot of parody songs and raps about truth, as well as different forms of activism approaching different different denominations of Christianity, as well as normal people on the streets. His funniest one that I laugh every time I watch it is his infamous eating a raw pineapple as he walks through Target. So go check that out. It's very funny. But anyways, I'll throw it over to Lioness and let her say her goodbyes.
This was so much fun. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to come back. You guys are awesome. Much love to everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom indeed, sister. Appreciate you as well. Awesome. And then Marcia?
Just that, thanks for having me on. And Ariel, I had a blast with you.
Thank you so much, Marcia. You too. I wish I could come to the girls' Bible study tomorrow, but I have hiking plans. So you'll just have to tell all the for me.
I will, but it was a lot of fun. And hey, guys, we do have Discord after where we can talk all about lucid dreaming. Ariel, after the show.
Yeah,
Sure.
come join us. My lovely wife put that in the chat, so go check it out. And then, yeah, so thank y'all again for all being here and watching, for those comments, for those thumbs up. It really does help. Check out Ariel, check out Latter-day Saints, and join us next week when we have our next episode. That will be coming out so you can put up as a reminder here in a couple days. But other than that, I'll say my goodbyes. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'm going to throw us out with Frankie B and Nick Infinity's song. This is This is Love Is Your Witness. Have a great night, everyone.
Love is your witness.
Love is your witness. Love is your witness. Love is your witness.